Our next guest is an Emmy-nominated actress you know from shows like A Teacher and House of Cards and films such as Friendship and The Martian. She stars in Imperfect Women, which premieres this Wednesday, March 18th on Apple TV. Let's take a look.
Hey, babe, what's going on? Are we in some sort of financial trouble?
No, it's just Dad's on my ass about our spending, so there's nothing to worry about.
It's got you on your third scotch before noon.
Come on.
Does it have anything to do with that meeting that you guys all had in New York?
Hey, everything's fine. There's a lot of work to do, that's all.
Well, I know how to take your mind off it.
Please welcome to the show, Kate Mara, everybody. Kate, I'm so happy you're finally here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm also, you're an East Coaster who has recently moved back to the East Coast. And we're
Yes.
so happy to have you back. How has your readjustment been to this part of the country?
It's been great. We moved in August. So
Great.
we live in a very small town. We survived the winter.
Great.
So I feel like that's a real
It was a rough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's been great. It's it's like we lived in Los Angeles, which is it was city, city vibes, and now we live in a very, very small town. And I realized that everyone knows everybody's business.
Yeah.
In a sweet way,
That's
though.
nice, yeah.
I think it's sweet.
Okay, that's good. The way you started saying it, I don't believe you, but
No, I think I like it. We had it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and so for my birthday, I rented out a theater. I invited maybe 5 friends to watch Wuthering Heights with me. And on the day of my birthday,
so
I
this
got,
is like a small local movie theater? Okay,
very,
gotcha.
very small.
Okay.
And I got an email from the theater saying, "Oh my gosh, we're so embarrassed. We have a new employee, and they got a call from Martha Stewart's assistant saying Martha would love to rent out the theater tonight to watch Wuthering Heights." And the new employee didn't know the rules, and so they said, "Oh no, sorry, Kate Mara's rented it out." And then, so they said, you might get a call from Martha. And I thought, well, that's nice. She might wish me a happy birthday. Like, why?
Yeah.
What's the problem? And then my mother actually got an email from Martha, because they're friendly.
Yep.
And the email said, basically, please ignore this if this is totally inappropriate, but I hear your daughter has rented out the theater, and me and my banker, Jane, are just dying to see Wuthering Heights. Can we crash her birthday party? We'll sit in the back row, is what she said. And so I said, of course she can come. And so she was there.
Oh my God, so you live in such a small town that Martha Stewart came to your birthday?
Yeah.
Do you have photographic evidence that Martha Stewart was...
Actually, I said to my friend, you've got to get a picture. Get a picture, but make it, be subtle about it. And unfortunately, they were so subtle about it that they took a picture of just us and not Martha and Jane.
That's way too subtle.
I was like, what are you doing?
You're like, it's so subtle, I didn't do it.
Yes, totally.
Congrats on the show. This is an Apple show. They always look incredible. They're just beautiful. Did you shoot in any spectacular places?
Yeah, well, my character is supposed to be very, 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 very rich and live in Pasadena. I think it's Pasadena. So yeah, we filmed in the most gorgeous house in Hancock Park.
Yep.
And it was just, the most luxurious place to work for 2
Now,
weeks.
a lot of fictional characters who have money and are from Pasadena, you get murdered in the first episode.
Yes.
This is not a spoiler. This is one of those shows where murder happens and then you're in the rest of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you like shows like this where you're trying to figure out what happened? Because it does feel like a very fun thing where you're like, oh, I know that one of these
I'm
people...
always so wrong. I never get it right.
You're bad at it?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. I never get it right.
So do you think you would have figured this one out?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
It's based on a book.
Yes.
Would that have helped if you read the book first?
I read the book, and the whole time I was reading the book, I said, it's this person, it's this person, and I was wrong. And then they changed certain things in our show.
Okay.
And the whole time I was reading the scripts, I was like, it's this person, and then I was wrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Incredible cast, Elizabeth
Yeah.
Moss, Kerry Washington. It's also one of those fun shows where we see it through all three of your perspectives. It seems like a very unique kind of show. It must have been fun to do.
It is. It's really fun. It starts off, the show starts off, the first 2 episodes are from Kerry Washington's perspective. And so you really think that you know her character very clearly from the first episode, and then very quickly in the second episode, things are not what they seem. And that's sort of the way it is for every character, for all the women, for all the men. No one is who you think they are, really.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So fun. Your sister Rooney, also an actor, and for the first time, you guys have done a film together, which is so exciting. And can you please tell me the title of this? Because I had to triple read it.
Yes, it is called Bucking Fastard.
Okay. By the way, I'm so happy that you guys waited until a movie came along called Bucking Fastard. And who do you and Rooney play in Bucking Fastard?
Well, we play sisters who are so close that they speak in unison.
I'm so excited about this. And by the way, it keeps getting better. First of all, that's so funny to me that that's what you're playing.
Yes.
It's so funny what it's called. And now, the cherry on top, will you please tell everybody who directed this movie?
Yes, Werner Herzog directed it.
It's the best thing I've ever heard.
It is still the best thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. How was the experience?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, in the best way, but also just like in the funniest way.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, Werner
Because how
Herzog.
do you speak in unison?
I know.
I don't know, but we did.
And Werner Herzog is like very funny without seeming like he's trying to be funny at all.
Yeah, he's never trying,
Yeah.
but it's always hysterical, even when he says action or cut, which he doesn't say cut.
Oh, wow.
He'll just say end it.
Do you have a Werner Herzog yet?
No.
Oh, you
I
won't.
never will.
Yeah.
I think it's the most unique accent voice of all time.
It's interesting. We were
You
just
have
talking
one.
to no, I'm just saying, like, I don't have a good one, but like Daniel Radcliffe and I were just talking about how no one talks like Tracy Morgan. Like, they're the same. Like, no, there's not another guy who's like, you know who sounds like Werner Herzog?
No.
Klaus over there. Like, nobody does it.
There's no one like him
Yeah.
on the planet.
It's really awesome you did that.
Yeah.
You worked with Rooney. I was lucky enough to meet another family member of yours a couple summers ago. I met your mom, and it was she was just a delight.
Well, my mom told me the sweetest story about you. Well, I told her I was coming on the show tonight, and she said he is the nicest person. I went to his house. I knew nobody else. And so I felt a little bit awkward, and I didn't know where it was lunch. I didn't know where to sit, and so I just wanted to stay out of the way. So she said she kind of just like found a spot away from everybody. And you went up to her and you said, "Can I sit next to you?" And she said, "Me?" Like, oh, okay. And then she said that you just asked her questions about the Pittsburgh Steelers and her family the whole time, and she said it was so sweet.
Yeah, I'm not usually that nice to people who show up. Who show up uninvited.
No.
But no. No, she,
Absolutely not.
But I mean, your mother was so lovely, and I did, of course. Like, I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Your great-grandfathers started the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants.
Yes.
This is an incredible football family, and I was so happy to talk to your mom about it, and she was so lovely. And I'm wondering, obviously, you come from this family that's like two famous football families. Now you have children of your own. Are you raising them to be sort of like insane fans? Because I'm a little worried my kids are gonna
become that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it just happens. I mean, my kids are 3, 6, and 12. I have a 12-year-old stepson, and my 3-year-old just started, sort of experiencing what it's like to watch me watch a game.
Yeah.
And it's really scary for him.
Yeah.
Especially this last season was really rough for the New York Giants. And so anytime I would put on a Giants game, he would go, "Oh, the Giants are on? How sad." So anyway, we got to change that.
Yeah.
Because we don't want him traumatized every time.
I had a thing where when the Steelers got eliminated, it happened at night, so I had to wake up the boys and tell them.
Oh.
And I was like, the Steelers lost.
It's like a death.
Yeah. I mean, I waited till the morning.
Right.
I didn't like.
Of course.
I didn't like go, wait, no, it's over. It's over. All right, sleep good. But the next day, like, we were walking to school, and my oldest, who's 9, he's like, you know what? It's not a big deal. Like, you know, we have a nice life. We have, you know, we have a loving family. And I'm like, oh my God, it's already happened where you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
You're like telling the lies I tell myself. I'm like, yeah, look at us.
Yeah, we're not that sad.
It's okay.
Yeah, totally.
It's okay. We got each other. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'd trade all of you for a win. It's so lovely to have you here. Congrats on the show. Come back soon now that you live here.
Thank you for having
You
me.
guys, Kate Mayer, everyone, Imperfect Women premieres Wednesday, March 18th on Apple TV. Stick